It's not good, folks. It's not good. That's not good. And that's not good either. Well, hello. Thanks for being back with me. I've been missing in action the whole time because since getting this e-reader, I've been reading like crazy. I mean, I'm reading literally in every free minute of my day. Whereas before, I would waste my time away with filming useless videos like this one. I will now sit on my balcony, sip a cup of tea, and read a murder mystery, which I love. I finished reading in the last month 15 books or something. It's just unbelievable. Kobo Clara. Let me pull that out. Okay, this is the box, just in case, Kobo Clara. What I had before was the Kobo Aura. The box is a little bit different. It's a box. Here's the Clara. Okay, so here we're looking at a 300 dpi 6-inch e-reader with the e-Cardura e-ink, whatever it's called. It is lit. It has a backlight. No, that's not true. It has a light on the bottom that shines up and it fills the screen like all the other e-readers out there too. There's only one that's not illuminated anymore, which is the original Kindle. This one is nice because it has a bunch of white LEDs and then it has a bunch of orange LEDs. And so you can set it up so that it will, together with your location, you set up your time. Like it's say I'm in Vancouver, it knows that the sun goes down at 9:30, so it starts to get warmer and warmer. The light starts to get warmer and warmer and warmer depending on the time of day. And it will also want to know what's my bedtime. So if I say I'm turning off the light at midnight, it will start very gradually to turn warmer. If you say your bedtime is at 9 o'clock, it will get warmer a lot earlier. So there's no sensor in here that will tell the device how light or dark it is. So it's all made by location and time of day, which is great. This is something that the Kobo Aura didn't have. The Kobo Aura has only one type of light, and that's the blue light, and that's the one that you're not supposed to. Personally, I never had a problem with blue light not making me fall asleep, but then I fall asleep all the time anyway. So it's a much higher resolution. This is 215, I believe. This one is 300 dpi, so it's a nice change. In effect, it doesn't really change much. Like, unless you have the sharpest eyes of an eagle, you can determine there's a little bit more fuzziness, but it's not a big deal at all. So if you think you have this and you want to upgrade just for the screen clarity, don't do it. It's not worth it. If you have this and you want to upgrade it because you want the warmer light, then maybe. Now, here's the reason why I prefer the Clara over the Aura. Okay, here are the reasons why I prefer the Clara over the Aura. The Aura is absolutely dreadful when it comes to screen input. You want to type your password, you want to search for a book, you want to type letters in there, forget it. It drives you crazy. So for side-loading books with Caliber, you just put the books there and you sync it, that's good. But if you're doing any kind of searching in the browsing books, forget it. It's just really, really sluggish. Obviously, the device is like a couple of years old. This one, way faster. You type in, it sees everything. It's just very snappy. Also with changing the swiping the pages, it's faster than this one. Okay, again, or Kobo Clara, Aura. Next up, the light. It's a nicer light. It's orange compared to blue all the time, but it can be also the exact same blue. I have a feeling this one, the old one, is a little bit more clear white, but all in all, not a big difference. And I prefer the warmer light at night. I tell you the truth, it's just nice reading with the warmer light. I was sitting outside on balcony last night and I had a little candle going and the screen, and it wasn't just like blaring warm light. Again, if you're picky or if you've real problems with falling asleep at night, this may be a better option for you because of the warmer light. Storage. This one has 8 gigabytes. This is only 4. You don't get all 8 for books. You only get like 6 because the rest is the operating system. So here you only really get 2. But I have over 50 books on this now, and it's nowhere near full. Like they say 4,000 books or 6,000 books or something. Books, especially these e-Carta ebooks, they don't have color graphics. They're like 500 kilobytes. That's the whole book is. I think the Bible is like 12 megabytes. Like it's massive. So, the other reason I like this one is because I just like the shape of it better. So let's hold it together here. You see, it's not really thinner. And if it is, just a tiny little bit. But this one is clunkier because it's cut off. It's rounded on the sides, if you can see that. But then it just cuts off in the front. And this one is rounded all over. It's more almost like an iPad, right? And it doesn't have that blue button. That's something else that bugs me. Why did you make a blue button? I mean, I have nothing that fits with it. And here, I'm really picky, but light blue? Why? Anyway, the on button is down here. At first I thought, why would you put the on button? But it's never turned itself on by accident. And what's nice too is then when you're charging it, let me just do that. When you're charging it, this one has the light over here. You see that? But when you're charging it, it doesn't turn on. Maybe it should, and mine doesn't. But when you're charging this one, the light actually comes on and it tells you you plugged it in correctly. Great. So that was maybe an issue sometimes. I didn't really know if it was charging or not because that was my problem. I had a faulty micro USB cable and it wasn't charging all the time. And with this one, you plug it in, you see right away it's charging, which is great. Not that you ever need to charge it because, oh my God, these things last forever and ever and ever. Now, said all these things, said this one and this one, they're both great. I like the Clara because it's smaller and lighter and sharper and better color light color. But the problem with the Kobo Clara is that they did not apply a darkening tape on the sides of the device. So with an e-reader, okay, maybe I have to explain this to you. An e-reader has no backlight. It's not like your regular phone that you have the touch screen and it's backlit. An e-reader is lit from the bottom. So the light actually shines upward, and there's some kind of a micro engraving in there. I haven't really researched it, but the light distributes quite evenly throughout the screen, although there's only a strip of light down here. With the Kobo Aura, there's 7 little light emitting LEDs down below, and because there's only 7, it's kind of, you can see the darker areas in between the lights a little bit, so it's not really nicely distributed like on some other readers. but it was working and there was no hot spots anywhere. It was just a great even lighting. The Kobo Clara has 9 LEDs on the bottom and then 7 LEDs that are warm in between those, like, you know, like this, which makes for a much nicer uniform light throughout the screen. But they did not apply the blackout tape on the sides of the screen. So when you turn that thing on, it was nice and lit, but on the sides you had light bleed. So basically they were almost like ghosting very light areas, which drove me crazy. I really, really hated it. And so I returned it and bought a different one. And that one had it too. So then I went on the internet and I saw that pretty much every Kobo Clara that's been sold has this issue because they didn't use the tape. Now, I don't know if you know that I'm more OCD than tech able, and it bugged me so much that I said, screw that. It's not a $3,000 device. It's a $139 device. I'm going to take it apart and see what I can do. All right. You open this thing up by putting your fingernail in the bottom crack there by the off button, and you squish it all around. You hear little noises that it makes when it detaches itself from the case, from the body. And you do that until it comes off. All right. So I use it to put the screws on there so that I don't lose them. So with the tiny little screwdriver, you take the screws out in the 4 corners, none of the other ones, just those 4. And I put them in the cover so I don't lose them, because you lose them, you're toast. These are like so small. You're probably gonna have a hard time finding them. By the way, if you hear background noises, then that's my son playing his music while he's doing math homework. All right, now that they're all 4 gone, you take the top and push it away from the screen, and it should come off easily. Now here, you see the ones that I applied. This is what it looks like when you're taking it out of the case. So you see the really bright sides on it. This is what that looks like without the blackout tape, and it's not good. So this is why I want to show you, because, all right, you clean the screen, or that's what you should do, and then you take some electrical tape, black electrical tape. I tried it with other tape, didn't work. Sorry for my hair, and like, you have to align it. This is something I cannot help you with. This is something you'll have to find a way of doing it yourself. There may be a few tries that you have to do. You cut off a piece. Oh my God, I'm handicapped. You cut off a piece and you try to align it with that line on the screen. You see that line on the screen? Yeah, you try to align it with that. And you push it down really hard. It needs to be really tight. And then with your fingernail, you attach it on the side of the screen as well. That's important too, because the screen is glass, so it kind of shines to the side as well, so it kind of blocks it from coming back in. It's kind of hard to explain, but I say kind of a lot. You do that on the other side as well, obviously. And yeah, as you see the bottom text down there, do this at your own risk. I am declining any kind of responsibility for you breaking your device. And sorry for the hair again, but this is really important. This is what you don't want to mess up, because then you have to take it off and do it again. But again, nothing major is going to happen. This is just electrical tape. You apply it so that your screen will not. Can you see the difference already? I mean, it's massive. It really, really helps. And for me, it's important to have the screen on while you do this, because only then you can see the difference. Because if you don't know, and it's important that you align it properly. You don't want to see the tape underneath the frame. That's important too. You don't want to see the tape peeking underneath the frame. So you may have to do it a few times, just because it worked well for the first time for me. And now here and redoing it, it didn't work well. I had to redo it a couple times. Man, it's no big deal, is it? It's just electrical tape. It doesn't damage the screen. It doesn't do anything. It's just... So here I'm trying to fit it to make sure that the tape's not showing. And just be careful. You just have a little look. You adjust it. You see, okay, does it work? Does it not work? Okay, so now when you find that it's okay, or it sits okay, then you take the frame back off. Come on, Karen. Okay, and then you have to cut because you can't have it over the screw holes, obviously. So you gotta cut the excess off, and I kind of do it a little bit curvy. Don't ask me why. It's just, that's how I did it, and it worked. And this tape is so sticky. It's just unbelievably sticky. And like I said, you can also glue it on the top. I didn't do that. I don't think it's necessary, but if you feel it's necessary, do it. Can't even cut. What the hell? Come on. Okay. Last corner. Make sure that the screw hole is free, and I'm still picky about it. Whatever. All right. Once your screw holes are all free, now you can actually cut the excess on the sides. So I cut about half of that off. Sorry, it's not really clear here, but I cut half of the excess off, and then you glue it down as good as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just for tying on the loose ends, you know. And I apologize again for my camera being in such a crappy position. You're showing only half of it. I should have done it differently, but I am not going to redo it. This is what you get. So again, cut the other side off too, obviously. Maybe use a bigger scissors than I have. This is ridiculous. And fold it over. This side is much easier because there's just a metal, okay? By the way, when you're handling this thing, oh, look at the difference. Isn't that nice? It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And by the way, when you're handling it, make sure not to touch the back too much, because you want to make sure that all the connections are fine. Okay, here I'm going to go again with my nail to really make sure it is tight and attaches to all the sides really well. This is important, because if you don't do that, then they don't even try. So this is what the final result looks. It's pretty good. Oh, these sticky tapes. And now we're going to put it back. Super duper easy, right? So you have to align it on the bottom. You see that little area there? This is where your USB charger is, so your micro USB. You make sure that it's aligned on the bottom. If it's not aligned, it's not okay. And then you push it in and make sure those screw holes are aligned. This is kind of your guide. When the screw holes are exactly aligned, then it's correct. And then you take your little screws that you have not lost, because if you lost them, you're toast. And you screw it back together. Really, that's all there is to it. I think the scariest part is taking the frame, the outside frame off, the one that you're just screwing in right now. That's the scariest part, because the first time you take it off, the glue is actually fairly sticky, and you got to be do not break the frame. If you break the frame, you broke $139 worth of plastic. Because once the frame is broken, there goes your device. So don't break the frame. Be super extra careful. All right, this is what it looks like. Let's put the cover back on. It's easy because the bottom is rounded and the top, sorry, again, away from the camera. Click, 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 click. It's very satisfying to put the cover back on. And there it is. It's all closed. It's all finished. It's all ready to go. Voila. Beautiful. It's really not that hard to do. And now that I did it, I have the perfect e-reader because there's no more ghosting. There's no more lights emitting from somewhere. The light is super even. It's beautiful. It gets warmer during the night, and it's just amazing on your eyes. I got no more sore eyes from reading, from staring at the screen too much. This is literally like a reading paper. It's beautiful. I really recommend it. Now, my recommendation, if you do buy the Kobo Clara, take it apart and put that black electrical tape down. If you don't have blackout tape. If you have blackout tape, even better, because I think blackout tape is just a little bit thinner. I don't know. They have the blackout tape on the bottom, but they didn't apply it on the sides. You could even put it on the top if you really want to make sure that there's no more light bleeding. For me, on the sides, it's good enough. But if you get the Clara, this is something you may have to do. Unless they're getting so many complaints now that the next issue of Clara's will have that tape applied, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. The reason why I don't want to recommend the Kobo Aura is that it's only $10 less than this one. It has the Clara has double the quantity, the storage. It has much higher DPI. It's 300 DPI compared to 219 or whatever it is. It's so much snappier. It's so much nicer to hold in your hand. Just all over, this one is the better deal for $10 more. But this one has better light. Still, if you don't touch it. So if you want the Kobo Clara and you don't think you're going to be able to take it apart and fix it, then I wouldn't buy it. Frankly, because yes, it's snappier. Yes, it has the warm light. Yes, but if you keep looking at a screen and the eyes are keep wandering, it's not like a phone. You don't have like colors and pictures and there's always something else on the screen. You have a screen with just letters on it. And if the light is not completely even, and if there's some glaring splotches on the sides, your eye will keep wandering there and it will totally distract you. Unless you get a perfectly illuminated, even lit screen, don't buy the e-reader because it will drive you crazy. Now, again, I'm OCD, might not drive you crazy, it's driving me crazy, but from what I can tell, a lot of people online are also saying that's pretty ratty. Again, a simple, easy fix. If you have nerves of steel, you don't need nerves of steel, but I swear to you, if I can do it, really anybody can. I wouldn't buy it if you don't want to fix it. Then don't buy it. Wait a few months and see, maybe they're doing that for you. Maybe, that's always the thing. You buy a new tech when it comes out, and very often you're actually better testers. It's been my destiny for so many times, because when some new tech comes out, I'm the first one to have it. I want it right now. I really, really love this thing so much more than the Kobo Aura. But only now that I applied that blackout tape, it works for me. So take it with a grain of salt. It's a recommendation, but you have to do some DIY for it. E-readers in general are one of the things that I can, without a doubt, highly recommend. even if you have iPads, even if you have iPhones, even if you have your laptop or whatever, you will rediscover books if you read them on an e-reader. It's a fantastic experience. And if you love to read and you've never tried an e-reader, I really think you should give it a try. My son has started reading again. He's 16. He's a 16-year-old boy that spends hours and hours and hours on the PlayStation or on his phone. He would spend every waking hour of the day on these devices. But he has now, within a week and a half, read 60% of this book here. And he's the one that wants to read. He's the one that says, Mom, I'm going to read. Which is mind-blowing. So don't diss it until you tried it. That was it for today. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you liked the video. And if you didn't like it, by all means, give me a thumbs down. I've been so blessed these days because people have been commenting mostly positive on my videos, which really makes me super happy, because even if this video is seen by 10 people and 10 people think it helped them somewhat, I'm already happy about that. So I didn't waste my time. And I will keep doing what I'm doing. And yeah, no, there's no script. You can tell. I'm jumping. There's no script. No script. I have no... Thanks for watching, and I hope I see you around next time.